Welcome back to another live here with Design Bundles. We're so excited to have you guys join us today. Today, we are going to be teaching you how to do a knockout in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to show you a few different ways, and then we're doing another giveaway today. So it is going to be a bundle of your choice using hashtag bundle. So if you guys want a chance to win, make sure you guys enter that in the comments below. I believe you guys can see that across the screen, and then Brittany is down in the comments below. Now, Brittany's in the comments below. She's here to answer any of your questions. But if you guys do have questions along the way, we will be doing Q&A at the very end, as well as the giveaway. I also wanted to mention today, don't forget to follow us on Facebook. We have a Facebook group, and I believe it is linked down below, and Brittany will add that in the chat for us as well. You guys can see lots of other crafters, get lots of inspiration as well as help. So make sure you guys definitely check that out. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so the very first thing that I want to do is start off with saying hello, hello, hello. As you guys are joining in, make sure you guys tell me where you guys are from. I want to know, what are you guys crafting on today? Are you working on St. Patrick's projects? Are you guys working on graduation or Easter? I want to know all of the details below. So let's go ahead and start off with the number one thing that is necessary for these knockouts. The number one thing that you should start with is bold font. So we actually have a perfect font for you guys for doing knockouts, whether you guys are going to be creating those last names or creating an SVG like Mom Life or anything like that. You want to start off with a bold font. So I do recommend this one right here. The fonts that I'm using today or any sort of designs are linked down below for you guys. So this is only 1+ credit. So if you guys are a Plus member, it's only 1+ credit. So as you guys are just now joining, if you guys just now joined, we are doing a knockout today, as well as showing you how to use glyphs. So if you guys are new to fonts and you guys are wanting to know, how do we get those glyphs? How do we use those glyphs? I'm going to show you today for a Mac. You don't need any third-party programs. You can actually do it right from your computer. So we're going to go over that today. So the very first thing we need is our bold font. I'm using this one today. And then the other font that I'm going to be using is this one. This one is Heart You. So this is something you guys have probably seen over the last several years. The knockouts are super duper trendy, but this one right here is only 1+ credit for you guys. And we're going to be able to combine a couple of names with a heart in the center. So I'm going to show you how to use those glyphs to pull this off. So these are going to be the two fonts that I am using today. So let me go ahead and take us right over to Cricut Design Space so I can start showing you how we're going to do it. Now, like I said, as you guys are joining us, tell us where you guys are from. Let me know what you guys are crafting today. I can't see any of your comments until we get done with this and get ready for the Q&A. So if you guys have any questions along the way, Brittany can help you in the chat, or I'll try to answer those for Q&A. Now, once again, if you guys want to enter in the giveaway, use hashtag bundle. Honestly, I can't remember if it's bundle or bundles, but they'll have it across the screen and down below, so you can enter to win a bundle of your choice. All right, so now that we're over here in Cricut Design Space, I totally forgot. Let me back it up, guys. Let's start off by downloading these. So I have already downloaded this on my laptop, but the really cool thing about using our platform, if you will, you guys can download these over and over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead and hit download again. And the one that I like to download is the TTF, which is True to Font. I always just stick to one. So whether you like the OTF or TTF, I always just stick with the exact same one. And every time I choose the same one. So I'm going to hit download again. We'll get that on there. And then my next one here, we're going to download it as well. Because before you actually open Cricut Design Space, you need to download your fonts first and then open it. If not, you need to relaunch, which I'm going to show you how to do today. All right, so now that I've downloaded those, they have popped right up here at the top of the screen. So you can simply just come here and then double click on them. When you do so, you're going to get a screen like this. Let me see if I can maybe make it a little bigger for you guys. Hopefully you guys can see this. So what you're going to do here is next click on the word where it says install font. This is going to install it right to your computer. So now that's on my computer. So I'm going to go back to our next one here. So I'm going to go to the next one I downloaded. Same thing. You see it pop up here. It's giving you an example of what it looks like. I'm going to click on install font. Now, if you guys are just now jumping in, this video will be here for replay, so you guys can watch it for years to come. All right, so I've downloaded both of those. So like I said, if you guys are just now downloading your fonts, you want to don't open Cricut Design Space until you have downloaded them. Now, if you already have Cricut Design Space open, save any projects you're working on. And once you do, come up to the very top, see where it says View. So I'll kind of give you guys a second to see that. So it says View. I've clicked on it. And what we're going to simply do is click Reload. So if you need to force reload, so you know how sometimes your screen gets frozen, you can click on Force Reload as well. So now it's reloaded. And I'm ready to go. So I'm going to start off with our very first font. So I'm going to do that ever so popular last name with the couple's name. So say, for example, if you were putting this on a cutting board or a coffee mug or a cute little sign. All right, so we're going to go over here to text, and then I'm going to come right here where it says font. We're going to drop down that menu, and now we're going to go searching for this. So my first one is called bold font. So I'm going to type in bold, enter. And then I can narrow it down by system. So now I can see here that I have bold type. So this is my font right here. And then I'm going to start to type out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to make up a last name here. Let's see. Let's do, all right, white cotton here. All right. So here we go. So we are going to, I'm going to size this down just so you guys can see. You can zoom out here. All right. And we are going to stick with this one right here. I was trying to think of the last name I was using last night, but because it was a little bit shorter, but I'm going to go ahead and do this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Actually, I'm not. That's just too long of a last name. So y'all just bear with me. Let me look up really quick. So I start using my kids' names, you know, so I start using their boyfriends' names and things like that. So it's going to make this super cute one. So bear with me for just a second. Okay. And I remember it now. It is Howell. Okay, so I think it's a nice, perfect short name because mine is Thomas, and you know I use it all the time. All right, so we're going to do Howell. Now this is it's automatically in all caps, and if it wasn't, you would want to change it into all caps. But our bold font is perfect for you guys. It's already ready to go. So the other thing that you want to keep in mind when you're working with knockouts is this is very tight already, but I could bring in a few of these spaces. Number one, I could ungroup it to bring up individual to slide them, or you can come over here to letter space. So letter space, if you click on the down arrow, is going to start to shrink these inward. So you guys can see those come together. You really want to keep this nice and tight, if you will, without the letters touching. So I'm going to bring that back out. All right, looks good to me. I'm going to bring this up so you guys can hopefully see everything well. So now what I want to do is I'm going to go search for my next font. So we're going to go back in here, and I'm going to type in heart system. Okay, so here it is right here. So now I can I accidentally changed my name. I need to click on text again. So don't do that. What we're going to do to bring in our next one is we're going to click on text, and then we're going to go back up. Okay, it's already brought up. So now we're going to type it out. So what we need to do is work on the glyphs. Now, I want to tell you the very first one's super easy. So that very first swoop you're always going to do in the front is super easy. You're going to hit shift and then hit that star. So it's number 8. So you're going to hit shift star. So that's going to give you your very first little swoop there. And I'm going to bring this down so we can see here. So we've got our first swoop. Then the next thing that you're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start to type out the name here. So I'm going to double click again. And I'm going to go ahead and just start to type out Miranda. Like that. Now I'm at the point where I need that heart. So we're going to go search for that glyph. How do you do that from a Mac? We're going to drop this back down. We are going to come right here to the finder. So at the very bottom of your Mac, whether you're using your laptop or your desktop, you know that little guy that's kind of 2 different colors there. We're going to click on that. And then what you want to click on here is applications. So you're going to now click on applications. And then the next thing you're searching for here is, we're going to scroll down here. I believe it is font book. So hopefully you guys can see this, but you're looking for, I've highlighted it here. I'll give you guys just a second for the word font book. So that way, if you guys are rewatching this, you can stop and screenshot this or zoom in. So you're looking for font book. Now we're going to double click here. And from here, we're going to search for that font. When mine pulled right up right away, if it didn't, you can narrow it by going to user. So these are the ones that I have specifically downloaded to this computer. Once you highlight it, what we're going to do is, you see these little 4 squares right here. So hopefully you guys can see that. I'm going to click on that. And now you see those glyphs. There they are, hidden amongst this. Here they are. So here's that first swoop. So if you want to just, if you can't remember that I said Shift 8, or you don't want to grab it like that, you can simply come here and get it from here. Now, how do you grab these? I'm going to show you. So we are on Miranda. We have the letter A. So I need to grab the A with a heart. So we're going to scroll down until we see one. So we're going to scroll down here, and there we go. So you can either have the little swoop, which we're going to use at the end. I'll explain in a minute. We're going to scroll. Here we go. So here's that A with a heart. So at the very end of that first name, you're looking for the one that has the heart. So what you're going to do is click on it. Now with a Mac, all you have to do is hold down Command C. Command C, okay? So you're going to do that, and now I have copied that. So what I can do is go back to Cricut Design Space. We're going to take our screen back and forth a little bit here, just 2 times. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that last A that I had, and now I'm going to go Command V. So the very first one to grab it is Command C, and then to let it go is Command V. All right, so we're going to do Command V, and you guys are going to see that it dropped that heart in there. So hopefully you guys can see that. Perfect. So now I can keep on writing. I'm going to go ahead and type out Blake. Now the E, I want the swoop on the end. You would think, okay, well, we'll just shift, 8. That's not it. That's the first swoop. We need the second swoop. So what we need to do is go back and grab the E that had the swoop. So we're going to go ahead and drop our screen down once again. Come back in here. So you remember how I was showing you before, these ones right here. So this is what we're looking for. So we're going to grab that E, Command C, come back over here to Cricut Design Space. We are going to delete Command V. And there you have it. Is this not super cool? So what we can do now is size this out. So I'm going to spread it out here and then go over the top of our design. So I'm just figuring out how big I want this to go. So whether I want it to go from one side to the next. So I'm just kind of having a little bit of an overhang on each side. So I'll kind of center that up there. So you can play around with it until you're happy of your placement. And what you can do, if you need to see it, you can change your color. So I can come up here and change that to a pink. So hopefully you guys can see this now. How super cute is this? Super easy. Now there's a few more steps that we need to do to knock this out. All right, so step number 1, we need to click on our font. So that Howell, right, our last name. You're going to click on it. You have to weld it because it needs to, in order to slice, they have to be 1. So that was individual letters. We need it to be 1. The very next thing is I'm going to click on it. We're going to send it back to the back again. We're going to come to arrange, send to the back. Now, once again, if you guys are having a hard time keeping up, you can always replay this and watch it over and over again. So the very next thing we have to do is grab our offset. So what's really cool is Cricut has allowed us to have this offset tool now. So it's right here at the top. So I'm going to click on our Miranda and Blake here. So I've got this here, and I'll go ahead and weld it too. So that way it's all one solid piece. And then we're going to click on it again, and I'm going to go up to that offset. So you want to create an offset, and you just need a little bit of a border around it. So I'm going to go ahead and let that offset do its thing. And let's hope that Cricut, there we go. Sometimes Cricut, it's still in beta mode, as you guys can see here, which means it may or may not work. So we are going to bring it back a little bit. So if you bring it to the left, it's going to bring it back down. And so once you're happy with it, you're just going to go ahead and hit apply. It's automatically going to turn black, and that's totally fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select Howell, the last name, so you can see that highlighted here. I'm going to hold down the shift button, and we are going to select the offset, not the word, not the pink one, but the offset. We're going to come down here. We're going to hit slice. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to, if you notice, I'm just going to make it easy. We're going to delete this layer here. We are going to delete this layer here, as well as this little gray layer right here. You can see it because it's all the ones that are broken up. So now when you line this guy up, look at how perfect this is. It's absolutely perfect. So easy to do. So to recap, you're going to use your 2 fonts, which are plus credits for you guys. So 2 credits here. You guys have your bold font, and then you guys have the heart one, the one that has the super cute glyphs. Glyphs are included. I did not have to use a third-party app. I was able to grab those right here on my computer. You're going to need to weld everything, and then you need the offset. So easy. And now I can throw this. I could put this on a water bottle. I could put this on, a cute little sign if I wanted to, like this, or maybe even a cutting board. This was super popular to put on those clear glass blocks a while back, several years ago. Tons of different things that you could do with this, even wood, to to put this on a nice wood board for somebody, or even like a wood round for somebody's door hanger, lots of things. Okay. So there is our very first knockout that I wanted to walk you guys through. Now, what if you wanted to do something a little bit different? Let's get this guy out of our way. Now, what if you wanted to do something a little bit different? What if it's using one of our SVGs and then some of this font here? So I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to upload here. Well, I've already uploaded. I have this link down below for you guys. So let's go ahead and start off with this super cute mom bun right here. So say, for example, I want to knock this out of the font. I'm going to show you this as well. So we're going to come over here to text, and we're going to just simply type out mom. Oop, hold on. I've got to go back to my bold font. So let's go back up here to type out bold. Once again, I can near it by going to system and then click on bold type. So we're going to go ahead and type out mom, hit enter because I want 2 lines here, and then life. Now I could center this up if I wanted to. I'm going to keep it to the left, and you'll see why here in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this guy out. Now, for something like this, if you were going to be doing several different layers like this of the font, you want to bring those closer. Not only do you want to bring them in, you want them to be like this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to line spacing. And now what I have found out, you can play around with it. So you're going to hit your arrow down, which takes a little bit of time. Or you can figure out about how much it usually takes you. So if I usually, so say, for example, if I do negative, because it needs to be in the negative, 15 enter, it's going to automatically bring it up. You'll figure out that number the more you play with it. And then if I need to, I can do letter spacing and bring those in as well, just to make those nice and tight there. All right, so now for my design here, I'm using this little girl here, and we are going to bring it right up here. So I'm going to arrange, send it to the front. And then I'm going to size this out just a little bit. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually keeping mine, you know, somewhere right down here on the end of the mom, you know, so something like this. So I'm just kind of lining it up, if you will, right here on the side, something like this. Okay. And then what we got to do, once again, both of these have to be welded individuals. So we're going to weld our mom piece. She's already highlighted, as you can see here, because sometimes you may have a file that's individual pieces, because I can change her glasses. I can change, you know, her eyebrows to be brown or whatever. So we're going to weld that. So she's one solid piece. And then I'm going to click on mom life, and we are going to weld it once again. So I don't even have to bring her forward. I know she's where I want it to be. So for this one in particular, 2 different ways we could do it. I could go ahead and select both of these, and then I'm going to hit slice. All right. And then I'll move mom over so I can see where she's at. Get rid of all of these excess pieces here. And I should have actually, what I usually do, let me hit undo. There we go. So if those broke up, I'll just go ahead and select them and hit weld. Sometimes I usually duplicate that before I get started. And the way that this knockout works here is, if I can get it to work with me, the way that this knockout is, so say, for example, I was working with glitter. So this was glitter, and then this was glitter, or this was glitter, and then this was regular HDB, like a Caesar Everyday Iron-On. So what, I can't layer this on top of the glitter. So if this was whole pieces, I wouldn't be able to layer it on top. But what I can do with this sort of knockout, this is going to nestle in between. So when I go to line this up, so say, for example, my mom life was pink, and then this was black. So my pink was glitter, HTV, and then this black right here was just an everyday Caesar, you know, Easy Weed. So that way I can nestle those together, and they're not going to lay on top of each other. So they're going to last for years to come, and it's not going to peel because you've layered it on top of glitter. So that's one sort of knockout. Or to back that back up again, I'm just going to back up a little bit here just so we can redo it one more time. Same thing. We can do an offset. So that way, hold on, just let me back up for 2 seconds here. I hope you guys are keeping up. I know I talk fast sometimes, but like I said, you guys are more than welcome to watch this on the replay. So what we're going to do here is this time, so I'm going to go and bring her back up to the front just so y'all can see. Arrange into the front. If I can click on it, there we go. All right, so with this one, I'm actually going to go to that offset. I'm going to click on my girl bun here, and then we're going to click on the offset. So I am going to, you can play around with your offset a little bit. So whether you want it to have little pieces cut out, or you want to bring a bigger offset so that way you don't have a bunch of little spots, you can do so. I'm going to go ahead and just hit apply. And now, once again, I'm going to take that offset layer. You can see I have it highlighted. We're going to select Mom Life and we're going to slice it. So now when I take that Mom Life, I can take all of these pieces, delete them, just like so. Oop, there we go. So now I can line this up. And then there's that little bit of a gap. Okay, so you guys can see that. So there's that little bit of a gap. And then I'm not worried about, you know, getting too close. So before with that knockout, you do risk kind of, you know, if you do overlap a piece of it layering on top of it. But if you do a knockout first, you're going to be safer to have this little bit of a gap. Now, say, for example, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't like this little spot right here in her glasses or this piece here, or maybe I want to get rid of these pieces. What you can do is go down to contour. And then I can say, okay, I am going to get rid of these pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and click on these teensy tiny little pieces so I don't have to worry about weeding those. I'm going to get rid of this piece in her glasses. We'll start there. And then as you guys can see here, it looks better. So I can go ahead and continue to get rid of pieces if I want to. So you guys can do that as well. So that's another way of using the knockout with an SVG. So then once again, you can, you know, bring these in colors and do it however you want to. So that's another one. And then the last one I want to show you is super cute, is using something. So I'm going to scoot this one out of our way as well. I'm going to scoot her down. I'm trying to keep them just in case you guys want to see them one more time. So the next one here, I am going to bring in my font first. So I've got my bold type ready. St. Patrick's Day is coming up, so I had to show you a super cute one. So I'm going to do, even though I think they're all cute, but you know. All right, so here we go. So we're going to double click here. We're going to do Kiss Me. You guys already know where I'm going with this. I'm Irish. All right. There we go. So we got Kiss Me, I'm Irish. A few things we got to do first. I need to come into my letter space, line spacing. And like I said, I'm not taking my time. I'm going to go ahead and do -15 because I already know that's what works for me. Give or take, maybe I need to back it up and maybe I want to do 14 and just kind of give it a little bit. So then I'm going to go to my letter spacing, bring these in. Another thing is, don't feel like you have to stick with it like this. You can hit the unlock, which is right down here at the bottom, and then you can drag this out. You can bring it, you know, to however you want it to look, to make it a little bit more of a chunkier design here. So now I say, okay, I think I'm happy with this. Looks good. Now I'm going to go over to my uploads and bring in this super cute girl right here. So this is a PNG that we have. We also have this link down below for you guys. So say, for example, I am going to be sublimating this on a t-shirt, or I was using Caesar Easy Subli, or I was using the printable, you know, the one that you use with inkjet, your printable heat transfer paper, lots of different things. So I was going to print and cut with this one. All right, so what I need to do is bring this down to size. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by just bringing it down to 9 inches high because I know that should work for me. It's showing it's not, but it definitely should. Let me see the warning here. So 4. Oh, because I have it set to the Cricut Joy. Let me change this really quick just so you guys can see. So if you guys are ever getting warnings, it could possibly be, you see I have mine on the Joy. I need to change it to the Explorer 3. All right, so now what I can do is bring this over here so I can start to figure out where I want it to be. So what I'm doing here, say for example, I'm doing a print and cut. I'm doing Caesar Easy Subli, and then my Kiss Me I'm Irish is going to be a glitter. So say for example, I'm doing this right here with a different color of green, and this is actually a glitter. So what we're going to do is the same thing. There's 2 different ways that we could do this. And like I said, what I like to do usually is duplicate this layer here and have it ready. I'm going to go ahead and remember to weld our font layer here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select these 2 here because it is a PNG. And then we're going to go ahead and hit, actually, I'm going to duplicate this too, just so we'll be ready to go with it. So I'm going to go and get this out of the way. So I'm going to select these 2 layers here. We're going to go ahead and hit that slice button there. Perfect. So now I can get rid of, I'm going to scoot this down for just a sec. Delete all these pieces that we don't need. I'm actually going to undo this. Scoot this guy down and weld these pieces together. There we go. Which if I weld those together, sorry, that's why I duplicate it. Ignore me. So I'm actually going to delete this piece here, and then we'll bring this back up. So whenever you guys do that, you're going to have to delete that. So make sure you duplicate. And so once again, this is just one that just nestles right inside. So that way I don't want that border. I want these to perfectly nestle together like so. So that's something you can do. Or once again, keeping my little pieces here. what I can do is to the offset. I'm going to show you all that one more time. So we're going to hit arrange. Is this not adorable? I love these designs. I think they're so cute. So I'm going to go ahead and send to the front. I was thinking I had the other one selected there. All right, so now we're going to bring in the offset. Now, if you were working with an offset, see how right now I have the top of her head pretty much at the top of the design and her hair at the bottom. I'm actually going to want to shrink this down just a little bit, or you could do it once you have your offset, but I want to make sure that that offset is going to be there and I'm not having to go on the outside of the font, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and scoot this over, go up to that offset up here, let it kind of play around, figuring out where I want this to go. Let's just say I'm happy with it. I'm going to hit apply, and then we're going to hit that kiss me and select our offset layer as well. And then we're going to hit the slice. All right, so we're going to scoot this guy down, get rid of these pieces right here. Like I said, you're just getting rid of all of those broken pieces. So this one stayed nice and whole, so we're going to go ahead and pop it back up. So you guys can see that there. See how you can still see all of your pieces, and it's not. So this one right here is got, you know, it's just nestled inside of there. So once again, just to kind of show you guys that. So that one's just nestled inside, so you can't tell they're two separate layers, if you will. And then this one has that little bit of a border just to kind of separate the two. Once again, if I wanted to click on that kiss me and I wanted to get rid of the two pieces out of her glasses or even this glass, I could definitely do so by hitting that contour and getting rid of those. So there you have it. So like I said, if you guys have any questions at all of what we went over today, make sure you guys drop those down below because we're about to get ready for Q&A. So let's go ahead and let me help you guys answer some questions. All right, so I hope I didn't talk too fast for you guys, and I'm just so excited. You guys know, if you guys have been in the crafting community for quite some time, you guys know that the knockout, the way that we've done knockout has changed tremendously from the way that we had to do a whole lot of hacking to get that done. So it has really changed from years ago, and every year it seems to change a little bit, but I'm so excited that we have two of the perfect fonts that just go so well together, and then to be able to show you guys even doing it with SVGs or PNGs, you can still make that happen. And I hope that even if it's not with the knockouts, maybe you guys learned how to use those glyphs or find those on your Mac computer today. So like I said, I hope you guys have found some inspiration along the way. So let's go ahead and see if we have any questions today. Hashtag bundle. Don't forget to use that bundle there. Is there an easy way to see fonts to see if they have glyphs? A lot of times whenever you go to purchase the font, they do have, they usually will say on the website that they come with a glyph. Now, another way is if you go to that font book, like I had talked about before, when you click on it, it'll actually tell you. So mine tells me that there's 152 glyphs. So that in that same font book, when you go to open up those glyphs, it will tell you if there is any, they'll show up. And if not, it definitely will. Let's see here. How do you know the hotkeys for the glyphs? A lot of times our fonts actually come with, if there's hotkeys, it'll say in the description below. And sometimes we've even had printables. So it comes along with, so make sure you check your downloads or check exactly where you downloaded that. So for example, I would go right back to the page where I downloaded, and in the description, there's usually there. But sometimes, like I said, even with the downloads, it will come with a printable page to show you those hotkeys. Let's see, can you do this on the iPad? Yes, you can. So you're going to be able to do the exact same thing on your iPad. Is this the same as the character map on Windows computer? Now, I am not familiar with Windows. So if anybody else knows, they can chime down below. I do plan on doing some research. I know that we have some amazing content in our design school. So Brittany she's going to link some of those down below. I think she probably already has. But in our design school, we already have a lot of, what do you call them? Almost blogs, if you will, that walk you step by step. We have even picture details to walk you through how to use glyphs and how to do knockouts. So hopefully we do have one for Windows. And if we don't, we should get it to you very soon. All right, here. Can this also be done on Design Space using my iPhone? Yes, this can be with your phone. Yes, you can also do this as well. Any tips and tricks to placement for sublimating mugs that aren't full wrap. Yes, so whenever you do your mugs, and I'm just going to hold it up here really quickly because I actually have a mug here. And I think I have my little handy dandy ruler if you guys will give me 2 seconds possibly. If not, I'm just going to kind of explain it. So what you're going to do here, if you're trying to find your placement for your mugs, you really want to stick within this area here. And from my dimensions is usually around 3.5, 4 inches. So you don't want to wrap all the way around the sides. You really want to stick to where you can see it in the front. So I just take my little tape measure and get those dimensions, and that's when I print those. All right, let's see here. Any more questions? On offset, what do the two different choices between the curve line and the straight line mean? So what that is with your offset, if you notice around my design, the curves are absolutely perfect. Now, if I want it around, if you will, so they're going to kind of go around the design like this, or it's going to have the points. You're going to have that more squared off design. Let's see here. Do we have any other questions? Can you use this to fill the bows different colors? Hold on. Can you use this to fill the bows different colors? Yes, you can. So you can do this as well. I know what you're talking about now with the messy bun. So you can do that to change the colors. A lot of times, most of our bows that come with the bows, if you will, you can change the color. So you're just going to click on that layer and change those as well. Let's see here. What was the font used? So the font used, we'll have them, they're in the description below, but one of them was bold type. And then the other one, I'll have it Brittany, or maybe we can run it across here because I don't have it right. And actually, hold on one second. I can pull that up. Here we go. So let's see here one second. I can't show you guys, but I can definitely tell you. So give me 2 seconds. So I use Heart U. So I used this one right here. It's really cool. So I use Heart U, and then I also used bold type. So once again, when it comes to Knockout, you really want that really bold type font. And then for that center, if you guys are trying to do something where you're combining two names together, I'm using this one right here, Heart. Like I said, both of these are linked down below in the description, and I do believe Brittany has maybe dropped those in the comments. All right, let's see if there's any other questions here. All right, let's see here. Do you ever use Silhouette and not Cricut? I do. Now, I personally, everybody I think has their favorites. Cricut has just been super user-friendly for me. I do know how to use the Silhouette software, and if that's something you guys want to see more Silhouette tutorials, we do have some coming. They're just in the way they play out, and they're uploaded, and we always continue to work on it. But if you guys truly want to see those, make sure you guys are dropping those in the comments and letting us know so we can make sure and get those for you. But when it's for me, for personal, I do lean to my Cricut more. What do you do with all of your projects? I actually donate them. So we actually have a couple of different places here that I love to donate to, different organizations, if you will, and I just let them have all of the money. So most of them, unless I put my name or something, Miss Thomas, on it, I usually just donate those out. Let's see here. I think that was our very last question. Now, before we go into the giveaway, I want to go ahead and remind you guys to go check out our Facebook community group. You are going to find tons of crafters. I'm telling you, we have so much fun over there, and seeing everybody else create and make all these fun things, you definitely don't want to miss it. So make sure you guys check it out. Like I said, it is linked down below. I do believe Brittany has that in the comments for us, but definitely go check out our Facebook community group if you guys haven't already done so. And this is the very last chance to use that hashtag, I believe, bundles, to win our giveaway. So let's go ahead and get ready for the giveaway. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready. Now, once again, thank you all so much for joining us today. Good luck to everybody, and whoever wins, you get a bundle of your choice. So let's go ahead and hit draw. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Here we go. Let's see. Who's it going to be? Dun, dun, dun. Jennifer. Yay. Congratulations to Jennifer. All you have to do is reach out to mel@designbundles.net. Let them know that you have won here on the YouTube Live Facebook Live, wherever you may be watching. And I believe you're watching from Facebook. And just let them know that you won, and you can pick out a bundle of your choice. Once again, that is mel@designbundles.net. And just let them know that you won today. Now, once again, thank you guys all so much for joining us today. I truly hope that you have found this helpful in some sort of way. I hope that you guys have found inspiration and maybe learned something new today. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.